Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests.
Good evening.
Synergy, which essentially means a creation of a whole that is better than the simple sum of its parts. Which is examples are like a business merger between two companies is a synergy. A football team, any sports team, is a synergy. But however, this creation created by simple parts has its significance in the world greater than just business and sports. It has been called the poor man's grenade, the poor man's anti-tank missile, and also the liquor bottle. I'm talking about Molotov. Now, the history of Molotov starts with its first documented use in the Spanish Civil War of 1936 and 1939, when the Republican Party, we were loyal to the government, were fighting against the rebels, the Nationalist Party. Now, the petrol bomb, as was called then, was used by the Nationalist Party as a way to combat against the Republicans' tanks. But where does Molotov get its name? For that, you have to go to this guy. His name is, as you can see, Vyacheslav Molotov. He is not the creator of the Molotov, but he is the foreign minister of the Soviets. During the Winter War of November 1939, the Soviets were fighting against the Finland. And during this time, he authorizes a military act to drop bombs into Finland's territory. Feeling enraged, Finland asked, "I demand an explanation for these bombs." To which Molotov said, "Bombs? What bombs? I'm giving you food. Those were food. I'm feeding you." However, Finland knows this is nonsense. This is a lie because, as you can see, that is not food. It looks awful lot like a missile. It looks awful lot like a bomb. Fed up, Finland was fed up with the announcement, with the lies. So every time a bomb was dropped in their territory, they just called it Molotov's picnic basket. Over time, Finland realized that they can't compete with the Soviets. They were overpowered and outnumbered. They quickly trying to find a solution. They thought back of the picnic basket and said, "Fine, you bring the food, we'll bring the drink." I will call it by your name. We'll call it the Molotov cocktail. Over time, the cocktail fades away, leaving only the word Molotov. And that is how Molotov gets its name. After that, Molotov has been used in almost every major conflict in the world. From the World War II to almost as recent as this decade during the riots in Kiev, Ukraine, and in Caracas, Venezuela. Now, with the prevalent use of the Molotov, an issue of its legality arose. The problem with this is because not all countries have a law or any kind of punishment that is subjected specifically to the creation or to the use of a Molotov. However, due to the significant damage that it can give upon its target, you can put it under two categories. Throw a Molotov on a property, any property or any object, you'll be charged with arson. Throw it on another human being, it suggests that you will be charged with murder or manslaughter. However, prevalent use of Molotov still exists. No matter how hard, no matter how deep or how harsh the punishment is, it is because of the recipe. As you can see, to make a Molotov, you only need these items. You need a rag. Any kind of rag is acceptable. You need a glass bottle filled 2/3 of the way with any kind of flammable liquid, preferably alcohol, or petrol. But since petrol is easier to find in Brunei, I suggest petrol. And of course, the most important of items is fire, which you can get from a match or a lighter. With this, you can get a Molotov. However, if you can't find the items, you can just buy them. Alright. Alright, it's free. Because essentially what you are wearing are rags. You can just take off your clothes, rip them apart, and use them as a rag. Second is the glass bottle. Each one of these only costs 10 cents. Petrol, 2/3 of a liter costs only 25 cents. Add that with a lighter, and it costs $1. And you can make a Molotov with only under $2. Add that with the fact that a handgun costs around $500 to $900, and the fact that this military brother, the incendiary grenade, costs north of $100. With the fact that for handguns, bullets are sold separately. For military grenades, it takes 1 to 2 seconds to buffer. So the potential victims can just kick them away. Then you can see why Molotovs are very special, are very prevalent in any kind of violent riots or uprising. Now you can think, now can you see that how these 4 items, petrol, glass bottle, rags, and fire, can make a weapon of mass destruction. With this weapon of mass destruction, it makes violent riots, violent uprisings, violent protests all around the world. Now, all of this is because this guy dropped his picnic basket. Thank you for listening, and back to you.